Hello, beautiful family. How are you doing? Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. So today we have this wonderful one. It's a wonderful one indeed that we all should hear and get informed. Watch this video and I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I will try to be brief. This is a very important broadcast. I want to first of all commend the British government for acting in this manner by withdrawing Katrina Lang from Nigeria. I've said it numerously that Nigeria had been staged as the worst cancer destroying humanity. And everything that is acting to protect this cancer, to defend this cancer, to encourage this cancer to continue to grow is a disservice to humanity. And anything that is of disservice to humanity affects everybody, including the perpetrators, but they are too blind to understand this. I want to make it clear that actually what Katrina Lang and all those that supported her and continues to support her need is proper education. There is proper education because these are people who lost and who don't understand the true identity, the true purpose of human beings, mortal beings, because we are simply mortal beings and we are the only mortal beings. Okay, the being there tells you that you're carrying a spirit. Okay, a spirit that brings about free will, a spirit that brings about conscience, a spirit that brings about consequences, evaluation, experiment. That's why the being is there. The mortal side is what actually commonalizes us with every other thing that is living. That is every other thing that is subject to death. So that's why we are the only mortal being. So Katrina Lang, from her actions, inactions, utterances, showed categorically that she is one of those who became confused because of her subscription to the misinformation, to the ill-guided, crazy idea that mortal beings can be God, can be basic animals, or can be higher animals. I've made it clear, whenever people are in this confused state, whenever somebody believes, thinks, or accepts that they are either God, higher animal, or basic animal, this is the thought process that destroys even the most academically educated, the most religious educated, the most civilized, in quote. It destroys such an individual to a level where they must start acting and behaving worse than wild animals. And I'm not joking, because a mortal being can never be an animal. You will agree with me that animals are basic and instinctive from species to species. They are instinctive, that animals cannot cultivate the food they eat, let alone multiply it. That animals must continue to depend on mortal beings and or nature for the reproduction of the basic standard food they eat from location. In fact, all of the food they eat worldwide are basic and standard. Okay, they can't alter it. Only mortal beings have autonomy, choice, free will to explore, to experiment, etc. And that will never be taken away from a mortal being. So once you are confused about your identity, it means you are confused about your purpose on this earth. And you will certainly never become an animal, a god, higher animal. You can never be. Rather, you will descend lower than animal and start acting and behaving worse than, and in fact worse than all wild animals put together. That's what happens. So it's important we understand. So Katrina Lang and her cohorts actually need proper foundational education in terms of what human beings, mortal beings are, what they represent, and why we are here in this transient life. That is what they need. Katrina Lang and her cohorts are those who subscribed wholeheartedly to her parents' and ancestors' mistakes, and they have not evolved to a level where they can capture the truth. Now, All I call for is that Katrina Lang and her cohorts need education. And that's part of the reasons why Biafra is here. Biafra is here to do good. Biafra is here. People are going to be surprised and shocked. Some people who thought they were going to lose out. I don't see the fear, because God is doing this for a reason. And we need to really, really understand it. We must stop enslaving ourselves, thinking that we are enslaving others. We are here to work only for a season. Everybody. Can't we understand? Is it rocket science? How do we think that in a world where we visited, a world we are only renting, that we are here to kill one another when we are subject to death ourselves? Why did we get it so wrong? Why did we believe that we have suddenly become animals that can cultivate, animals that depend on nature and you and me for the reproduction of what they eat, animals that are based on survival of the fittest? God gifted us respective food crops. Is it rocket science to understand? No, the person you are killing over there, are you going to start eating their food if they haven't introduced you to it? Do you understand what they eat? What bit of you have they stolen? Have they stolen your land? Have they claimed ownership? Were you not born in a land? In that land you were born, are you saying there is nothing there for you? God did not leave any human being without a unique gift. God did not leave any community without a unique gift. God did not leave any country in this world without a unique gift. God did not leave any continent in this world without a unique gift. God created this world and furnished this world with raw materials to the extent there was no need for any mortal being coming out of the womb to bring anything whatsoever into this world. Is it rocket science? No. Is it rocket science? Do we all need to go to school before we see this fact, this truth? And then the natural resources God overpopulated this world with, because they are limitless, God ensured that none of them would have meaning until a human being from their unique gift introduces them, and other people will bring their own unique gifts and feed into the singular idea, and through that something would come of the raw materials that God blessed us with. That is why it doesn't matter how tall that house is. It doesn't matter how big the cruise ship is. It doesn't matter how big the aeroplane is. It doesn't matter how tiny that mobile phone is. All these things came from the raw materials that God placed on this earth. And He used the skill, the talent, the unique gifts He gifted us individually, so that we can work in collaboration, in complement with one another, because with each gift comes limitations, obvious limitations, so that we can collaborate, cooperate, complement, and contribute meaningfully to the overall equation. That is what we are here to do. It's so easy to understand. So easy. But then people got crazy. And God made it that you won't come into this world with anything. And you will never leave from this world with anything. You can't take anything away. So these are all basic stuff. But people like Katrina Lang did not understand it. They thought that their parents and ancestors have built a foundation of destroying others in order to survive. You can see that animal concept. It's so written over her. It's so obvious. Destroy that place, believing that you can only survive when you destroy others. But that's a lie. That's in the animal kingdom, not in humanity, where God gifted each something to contribute that will make the other better. These are very simple stuff. So, enough of Katrina Lang. I would hope that she would, I'm happy to train her if she wants that training. Let me just make that offer. I'm happy to at least give her the basics. The basics. It will be up to her then if she wants to really accept it. Because people need to change. We are here, it's about the salvation of the soul of man. Because we are badly derailed. We're badly derailed. We are too confused. How can you, in a world you are renting, suddenly assume that you're a landlord? What does it take for you to look back and see where you're coming from and how you came into this world? And then look at how people are exiting and understand that this is how you would exit one day. What does it take? Well, enough of Katrina Lang. Now, I need to address the new High Commissioner, who I hear is called Richard Montgomery. Richard Montgomery, this is my advice to you. This is my advice. You can take it or you can leave it. Don't think you're going into Nigeria to continue to feed and support and ensure one Nigeria. Don't ever think that you're going there to meet people who are animals or less than animals that need you to come and control them. Because if you think that, then you must know that there is nothing different between you and Katrina Lang. Let me tell you the first thing you must do. The first thing you must do is to go and fulfill the requirement, the basic need, the basic thing that Katrina Lang should have done a long time. Go and release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is down in your hands to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains a British citizen. That is an eyesore. That is the worst evil that Katrina Lang committed. She left her basic duty, because even if Nnamdi Kanu was a criminal, Katrina Lang still owed him that civic duty as a British citizen to protect his welfare. She must be seen to be doing everything to protect his welfare. But in this instance, you are talking about an innocent man who has even been freed by the courts. Come on. Don't you people understand the courts anymore or respect the courts? Or how is it that any sane person will allow this type of evil? And all people are talking about, all people are talking about is election, corruption, money, oil and gas, all the nonsense. And you're leaving the big elephant in the room and you're chasing the crops, little things. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. So please, 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 you have two major roles to play that will begin to make people feel, okay, there is genuineness here. Because any trick you try to play, Biafrans would know. Don't forget, look, Biafrans would know. If no one else knows, Biafrans would know. And if you think you're coming to keep Biafrans enslaved or keep destroying Biafrans, then I can assure you that a day of reckoning will come to you. All the people that helped in committing the genocide in Biafra, majority of them are dead. Don't play with the soul of man. Everybody has an exit. But we can correct the ills of this world. At least we can be seen to be correcting it if we can really reflect properly and project properly. The whole thing is an eyesore. So the first thing that you really need to do now is to do whatever it takes right now to get an immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the #1 priority. And I hope that Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, had told you this. I hope so. It is my hope that you understand that you cannot be living with this level of evil and shame on British establishment. Because let nobody make any mistakes about it. What Katrina Lang had done alongside Boris Johnson and what's her name? What's the one that is it somebody Trush or whatever? Liz Trush is evil beyond evil, because they lived through this evil. They saw the illegal kidnap. Well, kidnap is illegal, so they saw the kidnap. They pretended they never saw it. Oh God, no. They really need to come out and apologize. They must ask for forgiveness so that they can be forgiven. Because who are they to allow this evil to happen? Come on. Or are you going to be, you have 3-tier British citizenship. You have to then decide and make it clear how you divided them and what the various levels would expect and not expect. So people know. Because the whole thing is so shameful. The whole thing is so shameful. So please, 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 let me not take too much time in this. That's the first port of call, very quickly. And then you have to move quickly to make sure that this evil election that Katrina Lang supervised, encouraged, is annulled. Nigeria only needs an interim government that must have one singular terms of reference, which is to ensure a free and fair referendum, so that you can give Nigerians, those that call themselves Nigerians, the opportunity for the first time to decide whether this contraption is good for them and they want to subscribe to it. If they say so, then that is fine, and then do everything to now call for a brand new elections. These are the two major things that need to happen as a matter of urgency. We need to start picking the pieces. People shouldn't be worried. If we get humanity right, we can work from the root and recreate the sort of world that future generation will come into and say, wow, this generation really did some work. This generation was made up of real, true human beings who were prepared, who were brave enough to look at the foundations and repair and reconstruct and bring about the true, what we call human-friendly, human-compatible principles, narratives, modules, concepts, ideologies, and theories. And it's right in our faces. It's right in our faces. So we need to be brave. We need to be courageous to say, let us do something different. Because what we had done all these while hadn't really worked. Because everything we had done all these while is actually based on destroying another. Believing that the destruction of another guarantees the survival of the other. That is an animal concept. That's not true. That is not true. The person you are destroying has something so unique in them for your own good. But you are blind to it because you thought you were animals. Who told you you're an animal? When an animal depends on you, no matter how clever your dog is, your dog will continue to depend on you to feed it. Because your dog, no matter how clever, no matter how you train it, can never go and cultivate nor reproduce what it eats. This is simple, basic stuff. Basic stuff. Yes, every living thing everything has connection to God. So we share a lot in common, but also there are differences. God made mortal beings special for the purposes of recreating things. That's why we carry the breath of creation. We can't create anything because we never created anything. But God gifted us that breath so we can recreate from the things God had already created in this world. That is, and then in recreation, we replenish the earth. We alter nature, we alter animals, we even alter ourselves. But only to a limit, with limitations. And it is through that limitation, it is through their capacity to alter with limitation that we are able to train our dogs, make our dogs begin to eat things that they are not naturally meant to eat, train them to do things that naturally dogs are not meant to do. But the limitations are still obvious because no matter how we train that dog, we can never. That's why you know that God made us to recreate. We are the agents through which things are multiplied, through which things are recreated, multiplied, reproduced. Okay? That's why no matter how you train your dog, you can never, the dog would never be able to cultivate and tend to anything that is called. You can't even tend to what you have cultivated, let alone cultivate and tend and then reproduce what they eat. No dog can do that. That source of feeding, that source of recreating what animals eat, tells you what you are here to do, gives you clear example of your purpose here on earth. God didn't hide anything from us. God made it obvious. Go and ask anybody claiming to be this and that. I'm sorry, when you go back and see them coming out from the womb, you will find that they came with nothing. Nobody, they didn't even bring a cloth. They came naked. And when they are leaving, no matter what they had built as an alliance, no matter what they have constructed or designed as secret or open society, no matter the ammunition, no matter the guards, no matter the stolen earthly possessions, on the day of departure, everything these people have assembled will disown them, will deny them, will reject them, will denounce them. I mean, isn't it obvious? Too obvious. Too obvious. We need education. What we have currently is deception. This is not education. So, I want to repeat again. Mr. Montgomery, as you go to Nigeria, ensure that your first duty is to do everything to get an immediate, unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a matter of urgency. And then you need to work and do whatever it takes to nullify, to help in nullifying this crazy, crazy, evil so-called elections, and ensure that you played your part and your role to ensure the coming of an interim government whose sole responsibility will be to organize and ensure a referendum that will enable those who call themselves Nigerians to for the first time, decide whether they want to remain as Nigerians or they want to develop in their own pace and in their own natural way that God had gifted them, so that we stop restricting people's ingenuity, so we stop destroying human gifts, so we stop reducing human beings, mortal beings, beneath animals. We need to do that as a matter of urgency. That is for me, and I'm being very honest with you, Mr. Montgomery, these are your two primary responsibilities, and I hope that that is what Rishi Sunak has sent you to Nigeria and withdrawn Katrina Lang for, because Katrina Lang failed and failed miserably. I'm ashamed on her behalf, I can assure you that. Ladies and gentlemen, I remain Princess and Henacho, advocate for humanity, and I thank you.
Oh, my beautiful family, that brings us to the end of this update. Please do well to like this video, share and subscribe. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.